Sometimes I want to create something, but I have no idea what I want to create. That's when it's time to just sit down, play around with my materials, and see what happens. Hi, this is Marcy from Sketchbook Scheming, and I started out this illustration with some water and randomly applied watercolor, and then I added salt to it and let it dry. I love the texture that salt adds to the paint. Rubbing it all off is pretty fun as well. Then I splattered on some acrylic paint in random empty areas and used a plastic knife to spread it around. I really liked the way the paints mixed a bit, and I really liked the grooves that were created from the plastic knife. Between the salt and the shapes of the waves that were the knife grooves, I thought of the ocean. Around this point, I started to imagine a hellish seascape, and my mind went to making a crab. Maybe because I had made a strange crab man during Inktober. I decided to make my crab on an old Stop and Shop brown paper bag, and I sketched it out on the back because I'm going to paint on the other side. So it really didn't matter how exactly my lines came out here because that'll be on the back of the finished crab. The painting of the crab ended up being pretty random with where I put the colors and shapes. I really wouldn't know until I flipped it over, cut it out, and then flipped it back exactly what the design would be. And I also made some pretty random blue shapes to use as accents, kind of going with the ocean theme, but then I do add some other colors on top in a random way. I sort of dry brushed them on or put them on lightly, and then I added some dots as well. I ripped my accents up into rectangular shapes. I enjoy making silhouettes, one, because they look cool, and two, perhaps more importantly, because it kind of disguises that I'm not so great at drawing or painting, because you're really just going for the shape that you would like. And here I really liked the feeling of mystery, that I wouldn't know what my crab looked like until I flipped him over. I glued on my accent rectangles onto my sketchbook spread, mainly on the right side and then spilling over a little bit onto the left side. And I decided to reinforce my crab on some sturdy white paper because it would give more contrast of the crab against the seascape, and also to make him more sturdy because I decided rather than glue him directly to the spread, I'm going to let him move. I poked holes in my sketchbook page and my crab, and I attached the crab with a little tiny Brad, and he really did want to be able to wiggle around. No hellish seascape would be complete unless the crab has some bedazzled eyes. I often sit down to create and know exactly what I want to make, but sometimes I just feel like creating something and I have no idea what to create. But I get out my sketchbook anyway and I see what happens.